Hey everybody, today I am reviewing Inside Out, which is the new Pixar film. I honestly don't think I've actually gone to see a Pixar movie since maybe Toy Story 3, so it's been a while. But from what I've heard, the quality of their films have sort of waned a little bit, and I obviously can't offer an opinion on that, but if for any reason they might have had a drought in the last few years, yeah, this movie has definitely rejuvenated that spark. It's an ingenious concept, especially for kids. It's about this little girl named Riley, and the film quite literally gets into her mind and tries to explore how she deals with her emotions as she grows. The inside of her mind is revealed as like this giant industry with this headquarters, and that headquarters is ruled by 5 different characters, and they all personify different emotions. You've got joy, you've got sadness, disgust, fear, and anger. But the conflict in the movie comes from the fact that Riley and her family have to move to the dark, dreary San Francisco from her hometown of Minnesota, and so she's very homesick. And so it's about how those emotions have to learn to grapple with change, and change is very difficult to go through, and life in general is just not easy to deal with. And it's here that the 5 characters start to really clash and start to go really out of whack, and they don't know how to deal with this and save this industry that is her mind. So essentially this movie is a study of the brain, and the way that the movie delivers it in such a satirical and clever way is absolutely incredible. And they channel that through a very accessible and entertaining narrative. It's satirical because this movie is kind of poking fun at all of those stereotypes that you see in movies, particularly in animated movies for kids. Because, you know, it's fine to have stereotypes for children because they're trying to figure things out. They're trying to learn about good and bad and all of that. So instead of actually having characters that are sad all the time or are angry all the time, they literally name their characters anger and sadness or whatever. The point of the movie is that these stereotypes you think you know are so much more complex, and that the older you get, the more your emotions and your memories become really complicated. This movie takes you everywhere. It's like a roller coaster of emotions, pun, sorry. It really is. I mean, as I was watching it, I was elated, I was laughing out loud quite a bit of the time. I felt pain, I felt nostalgia, I felt innocence. It does take you everywhere, and I think that that's why it works so well for kids and adults alike. And I know that is a phrase that is overused, but I really, in this instance, I absolutely think that adults should go see this, and kids should as well. Children can take a lot away from this movie because it can help them deal with the challenges of growing up. But I think also as an adult myself, it gave me quite a lot to ponder in my own life. And plus, as you probably all know, I get a total hard-on for anything that deals with the psychosis in an interesting way. And the way that they did this one was great. I loved Imagination Land and like the way they had the subconscious as this dark like abyss basically. But one of my favorites was dreams, how actually dreams in this movie are depicted as like a fictional Hollywood where different people are, or I should say different characters are playing different roles in order to be shown as a movie. And I love that because really that's where dreams come from. Dreams come from movies. All of those images and those archetypes in your brain, that's what we see in movies. And I just thought that was so clever the way that they did that. In terms of the look of the film, it doesn't have a very kind of epic scope about it, not like something like John Lasseter would do or Brad Bird. They just had a lot more of a kind of a visual, very spatially coherent way of telling their story. I think, yeah, it would be interesting to see what they would have been able to do with this story, but I think because the film has such a quick, almost like screwball comedy feel to it, I wasn't bothered by it because there's so much going on. You're feeling so much as you're watching it, and because it's so, like, I mean, everything at once is happening, and it's almost, it's almost chaotic, but not quite. I think that that's enough for it to really balance out in terms of maybe the lack of imagery. One of the things that struck me the most about the movie is how the idea of the mind can serve for even deeper purposes, I think. I mean, the mind in this film is kind of a corporation, an industry, and that says a lot about how we live the world, not only as children, but as adults as well. We're always trying to serve something in order to have a core. We are a system, an industry that is all almost like one nucleus. And that system is an idea. That reminded me a lot of the great quote by Bill Hicks, great comedian, where he said, "We are all one subconscious experiencing each other and everything subjectively." And that's exactly how I saw Riley's mind as a subconscious that everyone inside of it is experiencing all as one. Now, I don't think that that's what the Pixar crew was going for necessarily, but it's just something that I observed and what I interpreted it to be for myself. But this is an absolutely fantastic movie, and I think it's honestly one of the best Pixar films I've seen. I put it right up there with WALL-E, and I have a soft spot in my heart for The Incredibles, but I think actually this film might be better in terms of just the way that it's structured. When the film was over, I just wanted to stand up and clapped. I was so moved by it. And I know a few videos ago, somebody asked me the question, what movies make me cry? Yeah, I'm adding this one to that list. So yes, that is my review. Thank you all for listening. If you'd like to follow me on Twitter, the link is below, and you can also like my Facebook page and the link below that. Catch you next time.